Hey everyone, welcome to Marketing with Russ, the show. We've got a great conversation for you today. A local Central Mass weight loss company looking to build a national brand. There's a lot of lessons in this conversation that I think many of you will benefit from, so let's get right into it. How's it going, Brian?
I am doing amazing. How are you?
I'm great. Why don't you tell everyone who you are, what you do, and we'll get right into it.
That's great. So my name is Brian Roberts. I am a certified holistic health and wellness coach. I am a life coach, and I have been working with people to assist them in getting to nutrition, which is kind of funny because nutritional approach is more of an approach for a balanced body, and you're going to have certain foods that are associated with having a balanced body. Unfortunately, due to the environment over the last 3 or 4 years, there's a lot of remnants in people's bodies that have them unbalanced because of the environment and stuff like that. So I help people with weight loss. I help people holistically get their body balanced so they can get into a balanced and healthy, joyful lifestyle. That's what I do.
Awesome. Tell me more about your business. How'd you start? Where are you at now? Give me the whole story on the business itself.
Great. So I basically started in 2014. I was approached by a multimillionaire that had several companies, and he wanted to do a health company. And at that point, I was 293 pounds, and I said, "You want me to do what?" He says, "No, I want you to start a health company for me." And my previous experience has been a sales trainer working with people who are looking to create a better customer environment or a higher satisfaction level in customer service. So I work with people who own business and help them with that. So when I got approached to start this business, I kind of laughed and I said, okay, I'm 293 pounds. How many people are going to believe me that this works? And he says, funny you asked that question. So in 6 months, I lost over 100 pounds. I was feeling wonderful. I had a ton of energy. And then from there, I started working on balancing my life, taking control of my life and taking control of my happiness and taking control of my joy. So that's how I started with quantum fat loss back in 2014. And then 2016, we sold the company to New England Fat Loss, which was a big company. And I worked for them for a year. And we just had disagreements on virtues and values and customer satisfaction and outcomes. So I left and I started Central Mass Fat Loss, and I've been doing that for 6 years. My customers love what we do, and we change lives, not a lot, but we set priorities and make health a daily priority that doesn't offset their goals for finances, personal goals, love, family, social engagements. And we've been, I'm going to say, even through everything that's going on, like every business and what's going on today, we're still thriving. We still have great customers that are giving us good reviews. So That's how I started. This is where I'm at right now. And we've got some amazing, new, exciting venture coming up. And again, I know that this is probably not something we want to talk about. We want to focus on getting your assistance. And I've worked with you before, and you've done great for me. So I wanted your expertise today to create a national awareness, getting our name out there, that we're a company that you can come to, whether you buy our product or not buy our product, that you're going to leave with some type of benefit in your hour consultation. And I don't care whether you give me money or not. I really care is, am I getting you in a direction to thrive, enjoy, happiness, be able to incorporate movement into your life? And it doesn't mean you have to go to a gym, but and trust me, I've worked with bodybuilders and I've worked with competitive dancers and MMA boxing champions and karate people, and you name it, I've worked with. But incorporating a nutritional approach so that when it comes time to, like tonight, go to Chinese food place, listen to a wonderful blues band, enjoy good food, maybe have a drink. Too, I'll have to call Uber, but having a balanced lifestyle and being able to do it with energy, joy, and happiness. Hopefully that the long-winded, the long-winded answer you were looking for.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I mean, that definitely sets the stage for the rest of the conversation, gives me a good idea of the value proposition that you're dealing with, and the story of the business, right? And the story that you're trying to tell in terms of the healthy lifestyle marketing message. So that's all great. Now, one thing you mentioned was you want to build national awareness. So let's talk more about that, because that is a hefty goal for a local company like yourself. Yeah, you're currently servicing primarily clients locally in Massachusetts, or are you working with national clientele now?
So, I mean, I do have some clients in different states that we, have been collaborating through Zoom.
Okay.
And they're doing well, but they're typically word of mouth. Someone goes down to Florida, and before they went down to Florida, they were with me for 3 months. And they lost 30, 40, 50 pounds. They have a lot more energy. They feel really good. They look great. Their friend finds out, like, what did you do? And that happens a lot in my program. People are always asking my clients, are you okay? And because the transformation and what we do really gets the body balanced. And when the body gets balanced, it can do amazing, amazing things. And part of my journey, so that I'm an example of how nutrition can really, really save your life. But also bring joy and happiness and value and energy. And of course, I have a ton of energy, and you know that too.
Sure do. Awesome. Where would you say you get the majority of your clients from right now? Is it referrals? Is it through the website? A little bit of both?
It's kind of a mixture. I do networking, but I do more networking for humanity purposes, like the Rotary Club, Chambers, BNI, Business Networking International, is not that's a business group, but most of the stuff I do are soul and mind valued. It makes me feel good to do humanitarian things. Like tomorrow we're going to be putting up flags at the Westboro Rotary. Okay. Yeah, and it's going to be fun. There's going to be 10 of us, and we're going to be putting flags, and we'll be having coffee, and people are going to be, beeping their horns and maybe coming, hey, what are you doing? And that's all for the veterans,
Yeah.
And
so local stuff like that, you're doing a lot of chamber networking and things like that. Do you generate a lot of business through those sorts of groups?
I'm not going to say, again, I'm generating a ton of business through that, but I gain quality business through that because there's a trust there. They know me. It's hard not to like me because I'm always cracking jokes and making people laugh and stuff like that. But they trust me. Because they know that my passion and heart is in the right place. So internet, I probably get 2 or 3 deals a month, from, clients that don't know me, and they come in from my reviews. I mean, my reviews are amazing. And the reason why my reviews are amazing is because during the course of weight loss and lifestyle change, I'm making people accountable, and I'm giving them value at what we do and why we do it. So it's very hard for someone to give me a bad review. So I got great reviews, but I'm in a very competitive market. So that's why I'm trying to, that's why I'm seeking you, because I've done well with you before, That's why I'm seeking your experience and saying, okay, how do I, and again, SEO, I rank pretty good.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not in the top three when you do that little box.
Mhm.
Um, but if you click that little box, I'm four.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, yeah. And you've been around long enough locally where, that consistency helps your SEO as well. So that's really great.
So I'm
What are
looking.
you doing outside of just the website and Google for marketing currently? Are you doing any outbound advertising, anything other than the referral groups and the chamber stuff?
No, I don't spend any
Okay.
money on. I don't spend any money on SEO or social media or billboards or TV or stuff
Yeah.
like.
Okay, that's great. So you're in a great place. It's working organically, is what I'm hearing, right? So the business itself is up and running without any marketing. It's generating its own referrals through reviews to the business, and you're getting referrals from local people who know, like, and trust you, which is great. That's a great ground zero to be at in terms of marketing. And now what the goal for us today is really going to be, how do we get you to the next phase where you can set a plan in place for your marketing, and it's never an overnight success. It's just like weight loss. it's how do we get you to the point where you've lost your first 10 pounds, where you've actually got one marketing function up and running, so that we can then tackle the next and the next and the next, and eventually you get to the point where your organic social media is crushing it because your personal brand is on fire. Everybody knows you and your story. The ads you're running are national. You're bringing in leads left and right through your website. That is the end goal for everybody, right? A business that just feeds you new clients with no stress every month because the marketing is just automated at a certain point. That said, it takes a long time to get there. And it takes a lot of strategic problem solving, troubleshooting, and just incremental changes and improvements over time to get you to the point where you are at that final point, that pinnacle of success in marketing, which we're all striving for that. But it requires tons of resources to get to the point where you're nationally known, websites exploding, because you and everybody else in your industry are trying to accomplish the same thing, right? So it comes down to what you're capable of doing in the next 3 to 6 months that will set you on the right track, so that towards the end of the year, you're in a better position than you are now to continue to move forward. So let's talk about your marketing budget and your resources for creating content, whether it's like hiring a video production company to produce videos for you, shooting videos on your own. Let's just figure out what you're capable of doing over the course of the next 6 or 12 months budget wise.
So, and again, not knowing this industry, and that's why I appreciate talking to you, because you've been successful. Like somebody told me, never work with somebody who's not as successful as you are.
Yep. I've heard, don't take advice from people you wouldn't trade places with.
That's
My
it was
business
something
partner told
along
me
that
that.
line. I think it came from you. No.
Maybe. But yeah, I love that. Yeah.
So I guess the question is what would a business like myself kind of expect a return on investment? And again, it's a long-term investment. What do you think that a company like myself, who is sustainable, wants to become bigger,
Mm-hmm.
would encounter, I guess?
Yep.
Because if I say, well, geez, I don't want to spend any money because I'm doing okay. You know what I'm saying? If I spend money, I want a 4-to-1, 5-to-1 return. That's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for. So whatever, and if it gets better than that, and that's kind of goes along with my clients. I say, look, if we lose 3 or 4 pounds of fat, expect to lose about 1 pound of muscle, because you don't need that muscle anymore, because it doesn't have to support 3 or 4 pounds of fat. That's healthy.
Yep.
I think a return on investment is if I spend, if I spend $1,000 a month, I want to get, 2 or 3 clients out of it. So
Yeah.
that's where, that's where my thought is.
Yeah, that's perfect. So I'm glad you brought all of that up, because I noticed I had to fill out the questionnaire before we hopped on the call just for like some basic info, and you put an answer that it was perfect for everything that I want to teach you and everybody listening, which is my budget is unlimited depending on ROI.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's exactly what I put.
Yeah. And so
hey,
that was picture perfect.
I'll pay you as much as you want if you keep getting me a return.
Of course, absolutely. And so, like, it truly was the perfect answer for like the biggest lesson that I want people to learn from this show, which is that, that's everyone's answer. Everybody, you would go to the casino every single day of your life if you knew that if you spent $1,000, you'd get $2,000 back every time.
I wouldn't.
You put all your money in the stock market if you knew that if you put $1,000 in, you'd get $2,500 back every single time. The goal of marketing is to get you to the point where you are making 3-4x on your investment. What a lot of business owners don't understand is that the path to getting there is what a company like myself, a marketing consultant, actually does. We're like financial advisors. We're really trying to get you there, but there is no magic strategy or magic company, for that matter, that has all the answers. And it's like, if you hire them, they'll get you 3x. If you hire those guys, they'll get you 4x. If you hire these guys, it's 5x. Or if you do this, you know what I mean? That does not exist. The best marketing consultants are the ones that say, okay, right now, maybe you're getting a 0.5 return. Like, you're putting $1,000 in, you're getting $500 back. Let's get it to the point where you're breaking even. Awesome. Now let's get it to the point where you're getting 1.25x, 1.5x. And that process of getting to like 1.25, 1.5, up to 2, up to 3, up to 4, that can take the entire lifespan of some people's businesses. That is like the pinnacle of success in marketing, where you have so much confidence in the strategy and the data that you've collected over time that you can actually say, like, the engine that we've created, the brand, the marketing engine that we've created, whatever we put in, we're getting 4 or 5x back. But it requires a lot of work and effort to get there. And so there's stepping stones to actually accomplish that over time. And this is where a lot of people panic when they hire a marketing company, because marketing companies tend to sell those 2, 3, 4x returns. And so people get really excited. They spend a lot of money in the first 3 to 6 months, and then they realize, it's never magic, right? Like, there's tons of companies who hire a new marketing company every 6 months, and they might do that for like 3 or 4 years. And they'll try a different strategy, or they'll say Facebook doesn't work or Google doesn't work because they tried it for like 3 months and they put all their money into it and it didn't return everything right back in 3 months, and they write it off forever. And so the actual correct way to approach marketing is to pick a budget that hypothetically you can spend for 12 months without seeing a return, because this allows us to build a baseline for what you can actually confidently put into a strategy that you believe will yield results in the long term. And that's what it's all about. It goes like perfect industry to talk to. It's like the gym, right? Like, it's a little bit every day making improvements, and 2-3 years later you could be absolutely jacked and shredded. But you would give up. Everybody would give up on the gym immediately after 2 months because you don't become a bodybuilder in 2 months. You don't get 4 or 5x automated returns and have this like perfect magic marketing engine up and running automatically. There's stepping stones to get there. So that's what we sort of want to figure out today with you on this call is what can we do over the next few months to get you to the next level, and then the next level from there. So let's say hypothetically, and this is a hypothetical so that you can be super conservative with the budget that you choose. Obviously, you want to see returns before 12 months with any sort of effort that you're putting into marketing. But when you're planning out what your budget is, think of it in terms of what I can spend for 12 months without seeing a return, because that allows you to actually commit to the process and not fall back after 4 months, give up, start from scratch again after like a 3-month halt with a different strategy because the other thing didn't work. You know what I mean? So what do you think that budget looks like realistically with no returns? What could you like put in as though it's the stock market? Like, I'm committing to the process. I know it's a down market, but eventually it'll all come back. What could you commit to that process?
Well, let's do a hypothetical. Let's say I want to spend $1,000 a month. Okay, and again, I don't know if it's if that's realistic or unrealistic.
It's all realistic. You could tell me 50.
Okay, 50.
This is truly like whatever you actually would feel comfortable spending for 12 months without seeing a return.
Yeah.
That is the budget that you should start with.
Yeah. So again, if I started with $1,000, and I'm just going to stay with $1,000, so I spend $1,000 a month, which again is very affordable, and during that time, and I understand this because I do the same thing. What you're doing with me is the same thing I do with my clients. Look, this is a lifestyle change. This is not a diet. Mm-hmm. This is not going to the gym. This is changing the projection of your life so it's consistent.
Yep.
And that's, so we both have that same message. We need together to send out that same message. And again, just even doing $1,000 a month. And again, it's not a lot of money, but even doing $1,000 a month, if you start getting awareness, if I had people clicking on, hey, Brian, I saw you do, 30-second video on walking, or you did a 30-second video on mindful eating, or you did a 30-second video on joyful movement. I wanted to learn more about that. That's success. You know what I'm saying? And those are small increments, because just having that awareness, people are going to say, Jesus, this guy's different. Maybe I want to do business. Or it sets him into that research mode. Who is this guy? Oh, I'm going to check out his Google. The first thing everyone does. I'm going to check out his videos. Oh, I'm going to check out his Google reviews.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what we want. And I do understand it because we worked together before and we were successful.
Yep, absolutely. So, all right. So let's set $1,000 a month as the metric for now. Now, you can do a lot of damage for $1,000 a month. It just comes down to where you put that budget and how much content you're able to create for free, most likely, so that you can boost that content with the 1,000 that you have left. And it's all hypothetical. We have to figure out how to break up that 1,000, right? So
right. And that's where your expertise comes in, because you're going to know which gets the bigger bang for buck because you do this every day. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's why I'm excited that I'm talking with you again.
Likewise, yeah. So let's get into that side of things. So
okay.
Google has been good to you organically, right? People, you said 2 or 3, and you're closing these clients, right? It's not just leads. You're getting like 2 or 3 clients from Google each month.
No, yeah, I'm getting two or three people signing up.
Great. How many leads?
Again, I get phone calls, people inquiring. Maybe I'm getting like 10 or 15 leads a month.
Okay, so you think you're probably closing like 20%?
I'm going to be close to that. It's, for me, it's not about closing people. And I know that's why I left New England Fat Loss. And they got mad at me because I let this person go. They typically came back. Mm-hmm. And they said, I wanted to thank you because you made me think of why I want to do this in my priorities. And that's why I came back to you. So how many people have I helped? 2 or 3 people a month.
Okay. Sounds good. And that's just from Google, and there's a handful more that might come from referrals.
Yeah, I'm going to say, internet or marketing, Google, the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every now and again, I'll do a video or something like that. And there's a lot of things that you can help me with. I know my website can probably use some blogging. My website could use some more videos. My website can use, and those will definitely transfer into, whatever else I want to spend money on, Yelp or, Groupon or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the reason I'm asking what's working now is because in the very beginning, you do have a very conservative budget at $1,000 a month. So we want to figure out what we can do to put a little bit more gas on whatever fire is already lit. So if Google reviews you think are bringing you the most consistent amount of business per month, then I would want you to probably put like a couple $100 a month into Google Ads. I think you could do really well with like 250 to $500 a month on Google Ads. And these are rough numbers. But 250 to be even more conservative, because again, it's about consistency. So you want to, let's say 250 on Google Ads. So quarter of our budget's gone into the Google Ads themselves. And this is assuming you're not paying anybody to set them up for you. You're running them yourself, right? So that's just the assumption we're going with here. So you've got some Google Ads going. I think that will pick up. My hunch is that you'll get a couple more leads and closed deals from Google Ads, because that's where the majority of people in your business are going to find you, right? It's safe to say, like, most people are Googling fat loss solutions or weight loss solutions, and that's how they're finding you, as opposed to just like through your personal brand. Although that's great, most of the cold leads are coming through Google.
Google.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I would and Google leads to the website, so I'm almost putting those hand in hand, in terms of the conversation. So, because new website's expensive, like we'll get there. Once more traffic is coming to the website, and you're getting like 50 leads a month, and you have real numbers on what your conversion rate is from those leads, like, okay, 100 people come to the website every month, we're only closing 5 of them. A new website can increase your conversion rate. So you are bringing 100 people in, but you're closing 10 of them instead of only 5. But it's not really worth building a new website until you're getting 100 people to actually like come to your website in the first place, right? So right now we're sort of in like a traffic driving stage, where Google Ads could be a part of that, where anyone who's searching for weight loss in Central Mass, if you're running Google Ads, you're more likely to pop up than you are now organically, since you're not organically in the top spot. So the Google Ads can help with that and hopefully bring a couple more people in per month.
Yep. You're spot on.
Perfect. So with the remaining 750, how I see it is content creation, which is video production, and meta ads, like Facebook and Instagram ads. Because I would likely want you to put the rest of your effort into growing your personal brand, telling the story, like under the Central Mass Fat Loss pages, but using your story as leverage for the brand, so that more and more people begin locally to know, like, and trust you. Because the people who you meet in person already do. But outside of that, how many people outside of your inner circles are you getting a lot of referrals from, like, their friends and their friends and their friends? Not as many.
So, the funny part is, once a client becomes a client, I get a lot of referral from them.
Okay, from
I'm
current
not getting
clients.
off track.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So the referrals are coming from the current clients.
Yes, and I started a Facebook client group. So it's a private group of people who've gone through the program. And what I'm doing is I'm reinforcing that, like, weekly. I'll put a video in, or I'll put something in for hopefully to spark conversation or to keep people on track. And they pay me monthly. And then we find out, and again, it can be public inside of the group, what their struggles are. And some of the clients are helping clients saying, hey, I did this, or this is the meal, or that, and so it's kind of cool that we're actually building a little community.
That's great.
So I am getting some reinforcement. I'm going to say a higher majority of my business is from my success of clients.
Okay, that's perfect. That's great to know. So I think on the content creation side of things, like the videos, the photos, I think client success stories should really be a massive part of your content strategy, where you interview your clients.
I've been trying to do that, and it's my fear is I'm not as comfortable as you are.
I wasn't when I started. You just have to start. So again, this is what this conversation's for, because there are a lot of things that like business owners need to do in order to get to the point where you can spend more on Google and go harder in all the other areas, but you can't do that until the local brand is as good as it could possibly be and is generating, as many referrals as possible. So I think that's a really, really like massive opportunity that you could capitalize on is success stories with your own clients, having them speak on your behalf, whether it's like interviewing them or having them do videos, like testimonial videos for you. And let's say you're shooting all of those on your cell phone. Technically, they're free, right? It's just time now. So it's time and consistency. And this is where it gets difficult. Or not difficult, it's just this is where the practicality starts coming in. If we believe that that is actually going to help you grow your local business, and growing the local business is what's going to allow you to expand the brand into eventually statewide, regional, and then national in the future. Like at the end of the day, I just had a conversation on the last episode where we were talking about just that. Like somebody finds you in California, that's great, but the first thing that they're going to do is look at what kind of community you've built locally. They're going to check out if you're just some sketchy guy in Massachusetts who's running ads in California, or if you are actually like a legit company with lots of connections, testimonials, a heartwarming story, so to speak, and do you look like legit locally? And so to focus locally is not to ignore the national strategy. It all plays into the same goal, but it's very hard to go national until you've really conquered Central Mass.
I never even thought of that. So that is awakening.
And most people don't. You're not alone. Everybody comes to me and says like they want to go viral. They want to just it's everybody wants to be a national brand. I just want everyone to know about me is like the most common thing people say when we ask like, well, what can we do to help? and everyone knowing about you that's reserved for like Kim Kardashian. You know what I mean? Like you have to be a real high level influencer for everyone to know about you. And there's stepping stones to get there. We don't want to be as controversial as Kim Kardashian. So
we can do it in a more heartwarming way.
But at the end of the day, everybody starts at zero. And even like a less funny example, but like a more local influencer, like a real estate agent who has 10,000 followers, they didn't just snap their fingers and turn the Instagram machine on and have 10,000 followers because they're popular. They started with zero, then they had their first 100 followers. They worked for probably like 2 years to get to 1,000. Then they got to 1,500, 2,500, 5,000. The only way they did that was through consistency, actually providing value through whether it's success stories or information, like tips and tricks are a really good route to go down. But being consistent and getting yourself to the point where organically you have a really solid following in your local market gives you the leverage that you need to then go confidently promote yourself in other areas because you have the local market to back it up.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Sweet. And so I think
$250 a month on Google, in my mind, is sort of a set it and forget it kind of thing. You want to not totally forget it because every 2 or 3 months you want to take a look at the results and make tweaks. So you'd set up like a stock ad that's just like a control test of an experiment. Just like, here are all the general keywords for our business, and here's what like a just straight up Google Ads campaign would look like. And you'd run that for like 3 months. And then you'd make a change to that campaign. After 3 months is up, going into the second quarter, you'd make a change. That change may help, it may hurt, but you don't know until you try. And the whole point is trying and allowing the ads to have the time to actually reach their maturity. And typically they take 3 months to reach maturity, at least. So, big mistake people make is running Google ads for like 25 days and then freaking out because they're not working, and then they shut them down, or they start reworking the keywords with no purpose or no strategy in mind. They just start trying new keywords blindly too quick. And all you're doing, you know, if this is science and marketing is an art and a science, the science side is running proper experiments, which means you have a control set of data, you run that stock campaign, and you make slow incremental changes to that campaign and see what increases or decreases the results. And slowly you start to evolve that campaign to a point where you are seeing better and better returns on that $250 a month, right? So you don't want to start increasing your ad spend until you are seeing a return on the $250 and it's bringing back $300 or it's bringing back $500. At that point, and that could take 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. You don't know until you start really trying. You know, some businesses are easier than others. Last call I had was with a web developer who who sells like $15,000 websites, and we were talking about that, you know, expected results for a business like that versus expected results for a business like a restaurant, where they're gonna see quick returns, you know. Within a few days, you know if those ads are working, you know, because the buyer's journey is daily for a restaurant. Like, people get hungry every day. There's 100 people out there in Worcester who are hungry looking for a restaurant right now.
Oh, God knows. The unhealthiest city in Massachusetts is Worcester.
Well, there you go. Well, I mean, maybe you can partner with the restaurants.
So they get a flyer on their way out for Central Mass Fat Loss. But like the reason I make that comparison is because of the patience aspect is so important when you're testing these things out. And you start with a super, super overly conservative budget because the patience is required to actually learn anything. A lot of times we ask clients, you know, have you run ads in the past? And they either say no, which means we have no data to look back on, or they say, yeah, we ran them ourselves for the last 5 years. We were spending X, but like they weren't doing any sort of methodical experimentation with the ads. They've learned nothing aside from the fact that like Google ads kind of work enough to like keep doing them, I guess, but they don't really know why. They can't really give us any data on like, you know, what improvements could be made over time. And so those people just get stuck on this treadmill of never really like continually optimizing their strategy to the point where it can reach like 3x, 4x returns. They're not building a system. They're just sporadically, randomly trying new things, trying Facebook for a few months, posting a ton when they have the time, you know, running Google ads without any sort of method. That's what we want to avoid. So the super conservative approach allows you to see a return. Like, you don't want to spend more until you've got the 250 dialed in. The same way you don't want to go national until you've got the local dialed in. You know, same sort of concept. And so, again, let's say we've got 250 in Google ads. We're putting $750 a month into content creation. So that means either professionally produced videos or $750 of your own time, which it may be the case in the beginning, of just sitting down and shooting videos and editing those videos.
You know, and so this is where
I'd rather pay you to edit my video. I'll take the
enough.
videos. I'll be more than happy to pay you because we've done this, and the videos came out amazing.
Appreciate that.
But yeah, so this is why we have that conversation, right? Because sometimes people like they have, you know, a larger or a smaller marketing budget, but they're ignoring like the part of the marketing budget that it's either going to be you doing this yourself or you're paying somebody else to do it for you. So a lot of times like $1,000 a month ad budget can get eaten up pretty quickly if you're paying a company $500 a month to run the ads and you only have $500 a month left for the ads themselves, right? So that's where the conversation gets a little bit deeper into just like what you're actually capable of doing on a regular basis. Some business owners are capable of shooting and editing their own videos. They crush it on their cell phone. They're really quick. Maybe not the case for you. So
definitely not the case for me.
Right. So if the
case is like, how much content can you produce for $750 a month, and where are you going to publish that content? Right now, also had this conversation on the last episode in terms of platforms. Everybody wonders, well, what platform's right for me? And we always tell people in the beginning, they're all right. Like they're not even in the beginning, forever. They're all right. Like all the platforms can work for any business, and with unlimited resources and an unlimited budget, you should be posting on every single platform. The question at your level remains, what are you capable of doing on a regular and consistent basis, so that in the future, once you get the small amount of content dialed in, you can eventually get to the point where you're posting on more platforms more frequently. But maybe it means just making 1 or 2 videos a week on your phone that's not edited, posting them on Facebook, Instagram, and maybe your LinkedIn profile, trying to, I wouldn't necessarily even upload them to YouTube. You could, if you have time, you can upload them to YouTube. It wouldn't never hurt. And then with whatever time or budget is left over, and again, maybe you're paying a content creation company like ourselves to go in and shoot like monthly videos or quarterly videos with you, depending on what the budget looks like. But then with whatever is left over, maybe it's $250 a month, I would put that into Facebook and Instagram ads. Because then you've got the Google ads locked down. The set it and forget it campaign is going to bring in what we hope is at least another 1 or 2 clients than it's already bringing in organically on Google. And the middle half of the budget, say $500 a month or 5 hours of your time or whatever it is going to go into shooting and creating the videos. And then organically, those videos are going to do pretty, they're going to do okay when you post them. It never blows up as everybody hopes it does. It's a consistency game. And so what you want to do to speed up the process of the organic growth is put a little bit of gas on the fire with Facebook ads and Instagram ads. Because if you boost those organic videos towards your local audience, you can start to drum up some more traction and get yourself more followers who are local, who know, like, and trust you, which slowly takes like the leverage away from like your necessity to go out and constantly network. And I know you do the networking for fun, but like just, practically for business purposes, like you'd want to slowly network less and put more time into the digital side, because the digital side is more scalable long term, right? Like you can grow your social media following to 1 million, but you're never going to reach 1 million people at a chamber event.
Right.
So
yeah.
Over time, you want to gradually get yourself to the point where you are putting more and more effort into the digital side. But you have to do that by just starting with what you've got. You've got a lot of great local connections, local customers who would say nice things about you, and a solid enough circle around you of people who do know, like, and trust you. If we start creating consistent content on those social platforms, tips and tricks, success stories, those local people are going to see more of you than they're currently seeing just in person.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if you do that, you start getting some shares, you start getting the organic traction up, you start getting some engagement on the posts, and we could have a whole conversation about how to like increase engagement on social media and like what to put in the caption to get more comments and things like that. But that's nitty-gritty stuff. Really where we're at is just reframing the strategy in our mind right now to go for the more sustainable approach and like the stepping stone approach of, not put the cart before the horse. We're not going to go national. We need to capitalize on the local people first.
That strategy makes a ton of sense, and it goes hand in hand with what I do with my clients. Say, look, before you get into the bikini, we got to get your body balanced.
Right.
We got to get rid of the muffin top before we can put the two-piece on. Yeah.
Yep. And how many clients have you had who come to you having already hired like 4 or 5 people before you that they say didn't do it for them?
I mean, I just I saw a girl on Facebook, and I'm very proud of her because she's being very, very consistent, and she's working with a nutritionist now. And I told her, I'm very excited for you that you're working with a nutritionist. I'm the guy before the nutritionist, but I'm not gonna pressure her because of the fact that she is doing something. She is being consistent. I'm very excited to be allowed to follow her. I'm not going to make her feel uncomfortable. I mean, I've had nutritionists, I've had dietitians working for me. I do collaborate with doctors all the time. I got rid of nutritionists, I got rid of dietitians, and again, because they weren't good for where that person was today.
Mm-hmm.
A nutritionist, a dietitian is good if you're already at a healthy body. Let me get you there.
Yeah.
Just like you're saying, I can't go national, and this all makes a ton of sense.
Great. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad. It's that sort of like reframing of like the expectations and the goals that a lot of business owners lack. And I think that's where I can provide the most value doing this show, because that's the biggest mistake people make, is like they go too hard, too fast. They want to be known by everyone all the time, everywhere, quickly. And so they like burn out their budget, and then they get disappointed because it didn't work. And look, it's about sustainability. It really is. And the best example is like, and it works for your industry too. I always say, like, if you hire a new marketing company every year for 5 years, you won't get even as even if they're all great marketing companies, you won't get even as close to the results than if you hired just one average marketing company and allowed them 5 years to get things right.
Right.
That's what it's all about, And so where we're at now is you're in a position where you've got the $1,000 a month budget. You understand what that can get you and what your goals are now, right? So it's not $1,000 to automatically get 4,000. Like if it's working, and it's not your fault. Literally, Brian, everybody I talk to has the same mindset. That's why I was like, this is perfect for the show today, because I wanted to cover this. Everybody says, yeah, my budget's unlimited as long as the returns are there, like 3-4x. Well, duh. But it's hard to get there. And so how do we sustainably get there? And now hopefully you have a plan in place or a budget in place that you feel confident that even if you don't see instant returns in the first 3 to 6 months, it's putting you on the path that will allow you to continue to grow. And that's what it's all about. By the end of the year, put $1,000 into all those things for 12 months. There's no way you're not going to get 3-4 extra clients off. And what do you make off one client?
Again, I mean, I got programs starting at $249, up to, again, depending on the medical history of somebody, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000
Mm-hmm.
to get them back to off medications and
Mm-hmm.
healthy again. So, but that's long term. That's not like you're going to come into me, again, you can come into me in 40 days, lose 20, 30 pounds, and your body is going to get more balanced. Is that going to get you completely healthy? No, that's just the first part of the journey. Mm-hmm. Now we want to get you to nutrition. Yeah. Now we want to get you to, hey, I want to do that kickboxing thing. I want to do the CrossFit thing. My girlfriends are going to Zumba, and I want to Zumba but I want to get you there.
Right.
So again, you can start at $249, and again, then you decide, like you, You know what I'm saying? Then you decide how you want to further improve your life
Right.
from starting with me. And that's the same thing I'm looking from you is, we worked before we had social media and people were like, oh, I like that video. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm working with Russ. And they're like, oh, yeah, I know Russ. He's a great guy. And, and you are. And you're a good guy. You're a kind guy.
Thank you.
Yeah. And this is what I'm looking for because, where we are now, 2023, we're still in that COVID environment. 2024, people are going to burst out and they're going to say, all right, that whatever happened during those last 3 years is over. It's done.
Yeah. Time to move forward.
Yeah. I want to move forward. Now, I want to move forward more protected. I want to move forward more happily. I want to move forward more balanced, and I want to move forward more joyful. Come see me. Trust me, I'm really, I'm good at health. I'm even better at wellness, social engagements, dancing, having fun, enjoying yourself.
Yeah. So that's really what I would like to see you do more of is posting. Like, it would be cool if you, brought a videographer to a networking event and showed like your actual experience networking with people or having coffee with people, like just bringing the energy to the room, because I think you have a vibrant enough energy where if you capitalized on it more than just like a selfie or a quick video, if you actually showed it on a consistent basis, that in addition to your story and everything you've gone through to, get to the health that you're at now, could be very, very impactful, especially to the local audience who already is warmed up to knowing you. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people who maybe see you, once or twice across the room at an event, but they might follow you and realize, oh, this guy's doing this all the time. He's well liked by everybody in the community, and that will drive them to call. And it's also not an instant thing. Like, the weight loss journey for people is a roller coaster, and so this is why the consistency in marketing at this level is so important, and the patience, because you don't know where they're at in their life. You can't convince somebody to call you. Like, you can do all the marketing in the world, you could change your messaging all you want, but at the end of the day, you have to realize you're talking to human beings who are like struggling with a very sensitive topic in their life, and they're going to come to you when they're ready. So all you can do is keep things consistent, make sure that you're semi top of mind when they are at that point where they're ready to reach out, and that when they do check you out, they scroll through all your stuff, they realize that you're a nice guy, you're gonna be easy to talk to, you've had your own journey with weight loss, that so you're gonna be empathetic when you talk to them. That stuff is gonna impact way more success over the next couple of years. And then once you start blowing up because of that, then we can talk about more high-end videos, more advertising strategies. How do we create, different types of videos that are going to engage more with people? But I would say, just start small, start sustainably, then go from there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in 100% agreement with you. And the other thing is, I don't want people until they're ready to commit to themselves. And that's why Central Mass Fat Loss has been so successful. And that's why the new company going forward, I've been with big companies. They lost that personal touch. I don't ever want to lose that, ever. I want people to be really successful. And at the end, they're like, Brian, and again, like you're going to give me the path that leads to success.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen, I'm not going to, and trust me, and I don't want 1,000 phone calls in the next month. You know what I'm saying? But again, I want people aware, in another 6 months or another 12, 6 months from now, people are going to go through all this, the other programs and not be successful and fall out. That's perfect for me, because then they're going to get on my program and they're going to be like, damn, why didn't I see you first? And I'm like, well,
Yep.
And that's the thing, like enough people you do that for and the word starts to spread organically. That's another huge thing people forget. They say they want to build a brand, but they're like in their second or third year in business. And I'm like, that's not how brands work, my friend. Unfortunately, I wish it was. But unless you're like a local coffee shop, you know, who's got a good Instagram, like you're not going to build a brand, a real brand, a national brand or a global brand in less than like 20 years. Like Apple, Ford, Coca-Cola, like Pepsi, like those are brands, man. Those are brands. And that stuff takes forever. So you like all you can do is build the local brand and then slowly expand out from there. And I think if you start there, you're going to be in a great position. And I would love to touch base with you. I want all of the callers to come back in like 6-12 months and let me know how things are going, because then we can reevaluate. And you might tell me things have actually gone pretty well. The consistency has worked, and now I've got a $2,000 budget. And then we can have a separate conversation about what you're going to do with that moving forward, and go from there. So hopefully this helped.
Put it this way, this conversation enlightened me to a perspective of how do I plan this? You know what I'm saying?
Good.
And that's the biggest thing is like, okay, I know what I want to accomplish, I want to be Fabio and selling butter. Hey, you're like the butter,
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen in 2 months.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I love that I have like, okay, if I do this, and this, it's like planting pineapple trees. You plant the seed and you're not going to see a pineapple for 2 years.
Right.
So
but you have to trust
that it's going to come. And that's where the sustainability within the budget matters so much to me, because a lot of that first like 6 to 12 months is like this super insecure phase where you are investing money into marketing and you're waiting for it to grow. You're waiting for like the pulse of like, hey, I saw you on Facebook or I saw you on Instagram, but it doesn't come right away. And people give up way too early because they don't trust that it will come. And that's like truly the biggest mistake I see people making, is that they feel or like somebody told them they needed to get on Facebook or Instagram, but they don't really believe that it can be done. And like they need this instant proof, like the planting analogy is perfect, because it's like, would you ever believe somebody who like told you, like, when I put this seed in the ground, something is going to grow, a tree is going to grow? You wouldn't believe them if you just sat there and looked at it for a month. You'd be like, you're full of shit. But sure enough, like you keep doing it, and then eventually it does grow. And if you look at enough influencers, you realize how it's been done many times before. It's consistency. There's not an influencer with 1 million followers that hasn't posted 3,000 times on Instagram in the last 7 years. They like, unless there's outliers. You could do a funny TikTok dance, or you could have some random video blow up. But people always look at that as like the actual way to do it. And it's like, no, you can't plan to go viral. The only way you can plan to go viral is by producing like tons of videos, and maybe you get lucky. But that's the lottery. And for everybody else, it's a slow, sustainable path forward.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, Thomas Edison, 10,000 times trying to make a light bulb.
Yeah.
He didn't quit. And, and I use that analogy with people. I'm just like, you're never going to fail unless you quit.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. We tell the same thing to people, man. It's like you can't shrink on social media. If you keep posting, what are you gonna do? Lose all your followers overnight? No, you're gonna one by one by one by one by one, you will grow. Some faster than others, and that's why the no burnout budget. That's like my thing, is like the burnout budgets. That is like the enemy of all marketing, because it's like, well, you're gonna freak out in 3 months and you're gonna give up. It's like paying for a gym that's like $200 a month that tells you you're gonna be a bodybuilder. It's like, just go to Planet Fitness. How about you build a routine for a couple years before you step into the world's gym, or like get a personal trainer? You know what I mean? Like, just build a routine, And that's what I'm trying to preach here. So I'm glad that helped sort of like reframe, because you came in telling me you wanted a national brand. Now you know what you're capable of in the next 6 to 12 months to actually get you to the point where you're at level 2 from level 1. And that's what it's all about.
Right. And that's, and that national branding is going to take a long time, but it's a brand,
Yeah.
it's going to be.
And that's a great vision. That is like it. Keep your eye on that prize, but know that there's a million phases before that.
Right. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So this was great. It really put things in perspective. It gave me a good idea of where I should set my focus. And as always, I always appreciate your professionalism. I always appreciate your advice. You've always been spot on. And the good thing is, like, you're not telling me that I'm going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger in 2 months.
Never.
Never. And that's what people need. Unfortunately, there's a lot of marketing stuff out there that, click on this, buy this pill, and, you're going to
Instagram
hacks, Facebook hacks. That's the enemy of real marketing companies like us and real consultants like us. Those are the enemy. It's just like you. Like we're the soft sell marketing company. We're not trying to bullshit you into thinking like we're going to blow you up fast. Nope. We're just going to put the right stepping stones in place so you can sustainably grow, and you do the same thing. So, I wish you all the best. Obviously, there's plenty of rabbit holes we could go down on all the topics we covered today. So, the learning never ends. So I'm always here to help if you have other questions, and here to brainstorm with you. But definitely check back in like 6 to 12 months. Keep an eye on you. Make sure you're posting.
Okay. And, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure. And to watch your journey is just, it's wonderful to be a part of. So thank you.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Take care. Talk to you soon.
All right. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.